Movie notes on Rocketman, 2019 film, 30 September 2024 viewing. I just finished viewing this today, Monday, 30 September 2024. Same day I'm filming this. I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers, of channel. And this is 2019 film Rocketman, which this viewing, I have seen it before this. My description is it's a biographical film about musical artist Elton John, with key elements of his life being portrayed in a plot/chronology and stemming from a shared group therapy session later in his life. So essentially it's kind of like how to convey some of the like key elements of a person's life. And so they decided to kind of use this group therapy session and like him talking about his problems in his life and kind of thing, and it'll do like flashbacks kind of thing. And so I was like, I should do that. Do the dual writing exercise. So contextualize origins of song, Your Song, which is an Elton John song. Hey, if you take a T out of Elton, you get Elon T. What? That guy has been so helped out in his career by people like Elton John and like The Time Machine and LOI and stuff like that. ELOI. Yeah. Anyway, point being, so contextualize origins of song, Your Song, and then second writing exercises, see if I can do something similar. So I'm talking about like doing a PhD in Italy. So then take that and be like, taking where I am now, treat this as like a group therapy session with my phone, you know? Okay, and be like, can I think backwards as well as forwards? Kind of like to mirror kind of the approach of this movie. So let's start with contextualize origins of song, Your Song. So Your Song entered my life through the 2001 film Moulin Rouge with an exclamation point at the end, and stars Ian McGregor and Nicole Kidman and John Leguizamo as the character Toulouse. Okay. And so in that movie, it is sung by heterosexuals. And so the song, Your Song, originated with Elton John, who is not a heterosexual. And as someone who is not a heterosexual, I think that's kind of cool, because then it's part of the community of those of us who are not heterosexuals. However, Elton John and I are not the same non-heterosexual. So far as I know, I'm not certain about that, but I think so. And here it's very much portrayed, he's very much portrayed as homosexual, and I'm asexual. Although there is like homo-romantic asexual, but I don't, in here he's definitely portrayed as homosexual. I'm gonna have a snack as I go through this. I have a French dip roll. Traditional from Seattle International Baking Company. Big French dip roll. Yeah, traditional French dip. So we're gonna do it without the dip. Without the orange juice. Okay. So the contextualization here for the origins of that song is it was a breakthrough song for Elton John. And I think it kind of self-acceptance, but acceptance of his career as well. And like that he really wants to be somebody, and his music really means something to him, and it means love. Yeah, and embracing our imperfections. Our imperfections are what make us flawless, right? So, on some level, yeah, it makes sense. It's from a non-heterosexual, the song Your Song. And it does also bring up a little bit of, has the image of the song been tarnished by use by heterosexuals? Alright. As part of our community, non-heterosexuals, not theirs, in terms of origins. So they definitely like to kind of take it, alright, and not provide the proper backstory. So this movie addresses that, which I appreciate. Alright, so that's writing exercise 1. Writing exercise 2, attempting to mirror the plot approach of, there's a central thing. So the central thing is this, the group therapy session, me, you guys, okay, via a phone, my iPhone 10s, XS, 10s. And so, but thinking backwards and forwards in time as well, kind of like the movie, at least goes backwards. So PhD in Italy. For physical fun, maybe we can see maybe see if we can find me 1 to 2 maximum competitions to compete in for running per year. So each year, alright, so it doesn't overtake my, 8+ hours a day of research / school, my work, and that's the writing and life and stuff. Just do 1 to 2 maximum competitions per year in running. I think it might actually be enjoyable in terms of actually finding competitions to compete in. That might put emphasis on like competition selection, which could be, I think, quite enjoyable. And no complainings. If I did 2 per year and it took me 7 years to do my PhD, that would be 5 more than my target number of first author peer-reviewed journal articles. Yeah. Would also satisfy my parents' dream institution criteria for me, like the University of Hawaii at Manoa did for my undergraduate degree. They just want me to be happy. All right. They didn't say you should go to this school or such and such because we think it's a perfect fit for you, or it's our dream institution for you. No, our dream for me was for me to be happy. And I'm happy with the University of Hawaii at Manoa. So me being happy at a graduate institution, they're happy. All right. Now, so that's both backwards and forwards for those. Same here, because I do have running competition experience already, so expanding that. Regaining, backwards and forwards. So regaining my superheat samples from undergrad. Advisor said if I had a safe place to store them someday, and they still had them, and were willing to give them up, then maybe I could get them someday. Perhaps see if I could show my PhD advisor some stuff, see if we find anything of shared interest. So that's me growing up and maturing, but also if I made these samples with experiments in undergrad, then if they're willing to give them up, just look at them, right? My PhD advisor in Italy might not be familiar with it, so just, if we have the ability to look at it, it might be kind of cool. Especially since our results are published and stuff. It's kind of a way for us both to learn and learn to communicate with each other. And then thinking of a 14-month hiatus in 14-month hiatus in submitting articles for publication and peer-reviewed journals at some point, other than the end of my PhD. So I've done that with social media and it worked really well. But be like, at some point, no submitting, and let's just see what happens, right? Especially if I've already submitted some and they're going through the process of just be like, work on it, fine-tune it, finesse it, but don't submit it. Just take a break and see what else happens in my life, right? So, which gets me to how frequently to update my CV, even during the hiatus. Now, one of my, I take a 14-month break, but I end up updating my CV 500 times because I'm just doing that much stuff where I like go, maybe I should work on like, is this how I want it to be presented? All right, so actually like professional development of what I already have and what's ongoing, but not necessarily submitting for publication. So keeping you guys in tune, can I make keeping up with me in academia a full-time thing, a daily thing? Also, formatting for publications such as articles and abstracts, perhaps dotted lines. Okay, so on the CV itself, formatting in like a publications section such as articles and abstracts, perhaps put in like a dotted line somewhere corresponding to graduation dates or the like for non-degree institutions. So that's the backwards and forwards, like, so put in a dotted line, graduated from University of Hawaii at Manoa, right, on the publications list, and then put in like, so if I went to an Institute of Mathematics or something like Left Institute of Mathematics, something like that, maybe not that exactly, but something like that. This is like a writing exercise where I'm thinking about writing exercises, right? Oh yeah. How can I build writing exercises into my future? So there we go. That's inspired by this plot element. Did it work? It's kind of a little bit scattered. Kind of like as I perceived the movie being in terms of plot as well. But sometimes it's a good thing just to remember, like, sometimes when everything's in a sequence without the in-between, it's a reminder of where everyone's at. It can be like, don't forget there's actually a problem here. Or this led to a problem. Right. So sometimes that reflection and introspection element is actually needed. So there we go. I'll give this one 30 out of 10. The French Dip Room. Thank you for joining me for my movie notes on Rocketman 2019 film, 30 September 2024 June. And again, I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle.